In my last video, which was on an aerial for my boat, in passing I mentioned the ram tool for putting pins in. Very handy little tool, and I was quite surprised the number of people didn't or was unaware that these tools existed. Well, they've been around for years and years and years. They've been around since I was a lad, and in this day and age of battery powered everything, screwdrivers, toothbrushes, bog rolls, I wonder if we've got away from the use of simple tools, and perhaps there's a generation completely missing out on this. Anyway, in the comments on mentioning this, one guy said he was in the burglar alarm business, or used to be, and something like this would be very handy rather than put little clips on cables. Well, I quite agree, but I found something even better than that for putting cables. This is very thin cable I used on a closed loop burglar alarm system. As you can see, it's very, very fine, and I don't think I'd like to put little clips all the way along a skirting board or something with that. So what I use, using this piece of wood, I use a staple gun. And because it's very fine, when I first did experiments, that's it, I found that it was quite easy to go through the cable. Well, now I can put hundreds and hundreds of meters of this and not break the cable once. And the reason for that is I've slightly modified me staple gun. It's not battery powered, you'll notice. It's a mechanical one, donkey's years old. So how have I done that? Well, I won't get close enough. With a small round file, yes, I can just show you. With a small round file, I've filed the sole and the anvil so that, well, that can be used conventionally, if that will show up. Yes, it will, but if I had enough magnification, you could see there's a slight dome here where I've done the filing, and in no way that will cut the cable. As I say, I often modify tools to suit my needs. So let's take some simple tools like the humble hammer. I call that a carpenter's hammer. I don't know if that's correct, but it's a very common shape. This end is for knocking in the nails, and this claw bit's for pulling the nails out, right? Well, apparently not. And yet you can ask 99.9% people who's got one of these how they use it, and they use this end for taking out nails. So what's the point I'm making? Well, here's a piece of wood that I've just knocked a nail in. I'll try and demonstrate this as best as possible. If we try and pull this nail out by applying force onto this handle in that direction, you find as you move over and the nail comes up that the pivot point moves round the arc until we get to a point where now the pivot point is at the head. So it is this distance and the length of the handle that gives us our mechanical advantage. So without thinking, perhaps, and instinctively, what do we do to try and to achieve more leverage and not break the handle? Well, often we'll go forward and we'll put a block of wood under there. Now we can apply more force. Why is that? Well, we've moved the pivot point back under the handle. Now this distance now is shorter, although the handle remains the same, so we've gained an additional advantage. So what does that tell me? Well, it tells me that this head of this hammer is not the best shape to have. Yet we've had this shape for yonks. It's extremely common on many hammers. But it occurs to me that a block of wood glued on the end of the hammer would be an advantage. Okay, let's take that stage further. Perhaps a block of wood may not be too practical. Let me show you a thought I had. Okay, well, let's see if I can draw this. Let's assume our hammer was cast not this shape, but perhaps something like that. If we had that additional shape on the end of the hammer, that would be quite good, I think. It would be an improvement on this current position. And then it occurred to me, well, modern hammers are made up of all sorts of composite clever materials, carbon fibres and goodness knows what nowadays. So what's to stop us from having a hollowed handle hammer and having this piece, the addition, on a ratchet with a pore system that runs through the centre of the hammer and comes out through the base with a little button. So the pushing of the button jacks the pore and ratchet up one place, moving that addition further out from the end of the hammer. It's certainly a thought, and I haven't taken this idea further than just initial thought, but it's something when I've got plenty of time and absolutely nothing else to do, I might consider trying to develop. So come on, tool manufacturers, start thinking outside the box. Okay then, so can I suggest you put your thinking caps on and come up with a few suggestions and ideas? And let's see if we can't improve on the humble hammer. I'm sure we can. Oh, there's a fire engine just going by, and I've just been called. My lunch is ready, and earlier on I purchased a tub of fresh English strawberries. So till the next time, folks.